Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be reviewing Crown of Swords by Robert Jordan, and so this is going to be a spoiler filled review. I just don't really see a point in doing a spoiler free review for the seventh book in the series. If you haven't read The Wheel of Time, go read it, start it today. It is an amazing series, I highly recommend it. Alright, and so first, just to start this review, I did not enjoy this book as much as I did 5 and 6. I thought that 5 and 6 were really, really spectacular. I thought that 7, I did feel a dip, but I was pleasantly surprised when I realized that this book is part of what is considered the quote unquote slog. And then for those of you who don't know, like aren't familiar with some of like the terminology that Wheel of Time fans use, apparently books 7 through 10 are referred to as like the slog, and they're just kind of like the story like kind of slows down, and then like it just is a bit of a separation from how good the kind of the parts of the series that sandwich the slog are. But I didn't realize that I was in the slog, and I thought that this was really good. Like I thought that the slog didn't happen to like, I thought it was like books like 10 through 12 or something. I honestly don't know what I thought it was, but I didn't realize that this was considered part of the slog. And so with that in mind, this was really good. This if this is the slog, I'm here for it, because this was still a great book. It just wasn't at the level of 5 and 6, but like if this is the low point, I'm all for that. And so let me just kind of jump into some specifics. First off, let me just say this is more of like a realization I had. And I feel like I realized this for book 6, but I just didn't mention it in my review. But so okay, so Robert Jordan set out to tell the story of the Lord of the Rings kind of just in his own more realistic way. That's why you see so many parallels in the Eye of the World. And after the Eye of the World, I just kind of stopped looking for parallels, just because like it just so became its own thing. And then by the time you get to Shadow Rising, I mean, it really, really feels like its own thing. Um, and I didn't realize, and like, don't comment if I'm right or not, just because like I don't want to like be spoiled. But Padan Fane is like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and at least I think he is. With like, cause he like changes his accents and stuff, and he has this weird kind of like, he's like outside of the main story kind of, but like he is always like there. And like it was the changing of the accents that really got me. I was like, that is a Gollum thing. Like he is Gollum. Especially with like the Shadow Logo blade. Like that is like the ring. That is like how the ring corrupted Gollum. Like this, it just it really clicked for me when I at least that's what I think. And so I think that because of that, I think that Padan Fane is going to play a very intricate role at the end of the series. Just because, spoiler alert for Lord of the Rings, Gollum plays a very big role at the end of Lord of the Rings, obviously. At least in the movies, he does. I haven't finished the books yet, but anyway, so yes, I think that Padan Fane, he's gonna be a big deal. Just to kind of go into Padan Fane, like where do his powers come from? Like he can make smoke monsters now. Like I get it that he has like the blade, but I just didn't know that he had that power. Like is it that the dark one's taint on him like corrupted him, and that mixed with Shadow Logoth, or is he just kind of like a being of Shadow Logoth now? Little confused on that part, but anyway, he has powers that can make smoke monsters now. And when he stabbed Rand, and like he stabbed him where the he already had like the wound from the dark one, that was like a weird. I love that this like Shadow Logoth is a different kind of evil than the Dark One's evil. I think that that's really cool. And so now, while we're talking about Rand and the pain that he's in, one of my favorite lines of the book was when Alana is healing Rand. This is towards the beginning, and she like heals him, and like because they have this like warder connection, which is really interesting. She goes, how like when she's healing him, she's like, how do you bear the pain? And this is like kind of like a hint to us that like Rand is in so much pain, but from his point of view, it's like he doesn't even acknowledge it. Like he's just so numb to the pain that like it just I just got this such it was like a chill when I read that. I'm like, oh, he's like he's going deep. Like he is in a very very rough spot where he's going through so much, and he is so hardened. Which is interesting because like you do see some very vulnerable moments from him in this book, but like as far as physically, I mean, he is becoming a very hardened person. Um Also, something I thought was really interesting at the beginning was when Rand was memorizing the faces of the women that died, like fighting for him. That's like a weird. like interesting dynamic. His relationship with women is so weird. Obviously, there's tons of sexism with it, um, and like it's still interesting. It's so interesting seeing this like this view that he has. He really has a very strong distinction between the way he treats women and the way he treats men. And it's really interesting. And so the other part that I thought was really interesting was I thought that Perrin's wedding was really fast. All the way back in I want to say book 4, they got married. We got married to Fail. But Lan and Nynaeve, their wedding, that was so out of nowhere. I was like, wait, they're getting married now? Like Robert Jordan just does not like to set up weddings. I guess that it's just that's the only real takeaway I can have from that. And then the other, just I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. I have a few notes written down, but when Matt met Brigitte, I thought that was really cool, just because like it's just a fun little interaction. He's like, "Wait, don't I know you from somewhere?" And she's like, "Why are you speaking in the old tongue?" And they were both just like, let's just be cool. And they're like, all right, let's be cool. And then Brigitte gets drunk and then tells Nynaeve and Elaine that like, oh, you guys should apologize to Matt. And like, I loved that like kind of came full circle, because I always felt bad for Matt, that nobody appreciated him when he saved them. And then sure enough, they come, and it's a very, very funny. I love that whole their attempt at apologizing, and Matt just not letting them get away with it easily. So I thought that was really funny. I thought that I love like how different the men's channeling is from women's channeling. You saw this with when the Ashaman healed Rand, and it was like a different kind of healing. And like you have the women like they want like the Aes Sedai, they like are like, well, teach us how to do that. And like it's just like we know that it's like different. It's like I don't think that he should be able to teach them, right? Like because they've made it very clear that like men and women can't teach each other. But I just find it so interesting that their ability to channel is different. It's like a different kind of format, and we really don't get a lot in the way of men channeling, just because the only man that we really have a viewpoint for of channeling is with Rand. And then so you get so much more from the female perspective. But like I loved it when Asmodean back in book 5, when he was like Rand was like, oh, I thought that men and women were equal, and he's like, well, would you say that like the men and women like have equal strength, like just physical strength? And I thought that was a really good like kind of comparison. Robert Jordan is like the king of metaphors, like cool metaphors. I love his metaphors so much. Another just like really kind of dark moment in this book was like when Rand didn't believe that like the sexual interaction between him and Min, that was consensual, like that he like thought that he had basically raped Min. And Min's like trying to tell him like you didn't, and he's like I must have. And he's just like he just doesn't believe that it could have been consensual. And that's just like what a weird look into what his psyche is right now. Like it is just, he is such an interesting character. And that was like honestly one of my biggest criticisms of this book, is that I just felt like I didn't get enough Rand. And there's such a big world, there's so many interesting characters, but I would have liked to see more of Rand. That's like always like he's easily the most interesting character. And so just it's stuff like that where it's just like, whoa, like Robert Jordan has crafted a very kind of powerfully dynamic character with Rand. And then obviously at the end when they crown him and like he wants the crown, there's like this acceptance, and it's like really cool. And like I love every single play, every time Rand like conquers a nation, I'm like, let's go, we're just one step closer. And it's just like really cool. And so I really enjoyed all of that. I thought that the kind of like the, I guess it was like the fight that Perrin and Rand had, but like, it wasn't a fight. It was they were like tricking people, but like Perrin definitely seemed pretty upset about it. So I don't think I'm not entirely sure. I thought that like it was weird. It's like Perrin was definitely upset, but I think that the fight was supposed to be happening, but it very interesting. I loved the Sanchan coming in at the end. That was really cool. I feel like I am missing some information about the Sanchan, or like that I overlooked some stuff, because I swear like we haven't really talked about the Sanchan much up to this point. Like they were definitely in book 2 a lot when Egwene gets they put the thing on her and she becomes like a damen, or like a sul damen. I'm not sure of those words. But I feel like there was like a big break of not having them. But they're back, and that's actually pretty cool. And so overall, like I said, this was, this book was a little all over the place, because you didn't have this like Rand kind of setting the narrative like usual. Um, and so I really did enjoy it. Like there's no like up to this point, there's been no bad Wheel of Time books. This one, was it as good as 5 and 6? No, has like the kind of streak of the books progressively getting better ended. Yes, but I mean it has still set such a high bar that like I'm still thoroughly enjoying this. And yeah, it's a phenomenal series, and it's so weird to think that I'm only halfway through it. I mean, I feel like I've gone through like such a long journey with these characters, but it's also exciting knowing that 7 more books. That's really cool. So anyway, that's about all that I have to say about this book. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys disagreed with anything I said, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this book. Definitely keep it spoiler free up to book 7 though, just because don't want to get spoiled or anything. But yeah, if you enjoyed this review, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.